Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, May 6th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. We are saddened to announce that the town's building inspector, Matt Walsh, passed away this week. General Manager Mizuko released a statement on the town's social media pages that read, "It is with profound sadness we are letting the community know that our building commissioner, Matt Walsh, has passed away at 59. Everyone who knew Matt knows he was kind, caring, and always had a smile. He was a wonderful family man who loved his children and grandchildren deeply. He will be missed by everyone who knew him. Matt was born and raised right here in Norwood. He worked for us for many years, always caring about residents, businesses, and everyone in Norwood. Those of us who worked with Matt are heartbroken, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family during this difficult time. We will post information about arrangements when we have them. Please hug your loved ones a little closer today." Tony Mizuko, General Manager. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. History was made earlier this week in Norwood. The Morrill Memorial Library and the town of Norwood have partnered with the Massachusetts Probate and Family Court System to offer virtual court access through the Access to Justice program. Norwood is the first community to offer such a system, and at the time of this broadcast, the only one out of the 351 communities in the Commonwealth.
This is fairly new. Libraries in some parts of the country have struggled to sort of show their relevance in the modern era, and this is a great example of that. Libraries are often referred to as palaces of the people, and there's a lot that you can do at a library, and this is just another example of the services that are available at a library. I actually think libraries are going to become more important in the future, not less important, especially as businesses like you think of a town hall become more of just an office building and courthouses become really just office buildings, and that those services can move to places where people can access them. You're going to see more and more of that happening at the library.
I think any time that you can engage the citizenry and the community in activities that can be done virtually, particularly at a location such as library, it's a great opportunity for folks to do that. So I'm very proud of Norwood for having been part of this program.
Colleen Brierly, Register of Probate and Family Court, explains the services that will now be accessible at the library and the importance of having them.
Such sensitive and necessary litigation goes on there. It has to do with every aspect of a person's life, from death and probate of estates to divorce, custody hearings, there's domestic violence cases in the court. DCF has a huge presence in our court. So with the pandemic, we needed to reach people. So through the Chief Justice of the Probate and Family Court, John Casey, he supported through the tech department the virtual registry. And that has just really grown to the point where today we get over 100 visitors to our virtual registry, and it's not going away. And so what we'll be able to do at the library here is that people that need a private space or don't have access to internet can come to a private room up on the third floor. We have 2 designated rooms with computers, privacy, access to internet, of course, and they'll be able to get on the virtual registry. And from there, we have clerks. I've designated clerks to run the virtual registry.
Brierly, a Norwood resident herself, is proud of her town for being the first in the state to provide this service.
I represent the entire county, but Norwood is my heart. And so I went to St. Catherine's School and then 9th grade at the South, and Norwood High, class of 80. Both of my children graduated Norwood High, and I have 3 kids at the Coakley Middle School right now involved in town sports. So I'm just always so proud of my town. My co-workers make fun of me because I bring Norwood, I guess, into a lot of conversations. Well, in Norwood we do this or whatever, but it really is a fabulous community that I want to give back to. And so I'm super proud.
Library Director Clayton Cheever also sees the importance of making these services available to library patrons and community members, and credits his staff for helping to make it a reality.
I'd like doing services that are meaningful. I don't like doing services just to do them, but when they have a potential to really make a difference in lives, I couldn't be happier to be involved, and I couldn't be more proud of the team that's making it happen. It's not me doing it, it's a great number of people that have helped bring us to this spot. In this point of time, and it fills me with great pride to be leading a team effort like this to make this work.
Cheever explains how you can access the court system from the library and assures privacy for those who need it.
So much vocabulary, first of all, even just helping people understand if we're not dealing with the courts every day, who are we talking to? I always thought I'm talking to the clerk of the court. Well, here in family and probate, you're talking to the registry of the court. And helping people understand that is key. So just understanding the language, so we can help people just with that basic navigation. Then there's the physical access. You can do that from home before. Now we have a safe space here in the library where you can use our Wi-Fi, you can use our computers, you can use our study rooms, you can have a private, quiet place. You can use our printers if you don't have access printing and you need to print up some forms, let's say, to get somebody else to sign them or to actually physically deliver to the court. So if you want to borrow a Wi-Fi hotspot, you can do that and do it from another place that works better for you. If you need to do it at some hour or use the internet at a time when we're not open, we're open 7 days a week, which is also an awesome resource.
It's always great to see the town of Norwood working with local agencies to help the community. Friday night was prom night for the class of 2022. The students took off to the beautiful Lakeview Pavilion in Wrentham to celebrate 4 years at the school on the hill. Local nonprofit, Giving the Glam, works all year long to coordinate a magical prom night for high schoolers across Norfolk County. Giving the Glam founder, Maristella Rappo, explains why her team is so passionate about giving back.
And each year from day one was growing and growing and growing. And here we are, 150 kids this year, almost 700 kids after. Each year I trying to go in different towns, even different states. We in New York this year. We help 48 kids from South Bronx, New York. The kids are amazing. I love the principal, the assistant principal, and they are a good team. We are really connecting, work together. It's all about communication, how I work with the school. I depend a lot on the counselors and the teacher and the assistant principal and the principal to communicate with the kids. And so far, we have been doing really well. Really well.
Giving the Glam is based in Norwood and is working together with the high school administration to provide a memorable evening for students. Assistant Principal Cindy Durain is thankful for such an incredible partnership.
Like every girl wants to feel like a princess for a day, whether it's on her wedding or her prom or whatever. And to hear as an adult who really cares for kids that there's any sort of student who feels like that experience can't happen for them is gut-wrenching, right? So to have this random person out of the blue contact you and be like, hey, we'll give you all of these things and you have to give us nothing in return. It just seemed really too good to be true. And we didn't want to hook our kids up with somebody who was going to put them in danger. That's always our first concern. So once we did a little more research and realized that we had sort of blown an opportunity at that time, we felt like we needed to reach out and see if she could help. So
NCM was live on the Common Friday evening for the prom red carpet show, and everybody looked fabulous. Enjoy the last month of school, seniors. Class day will be here before you know it. May is an exciting month at the library, and there are many programs for children and adults. For all the latest details, here is Library Director Clayton Cheever with this month's Moral Moment.
Greetings for the Morrow Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. I'm Clayton Cheever, your Library Director. I'd like to tell you about a few things happening here at the library this May. People have been sharing photographs with us recently of some of the crafts they've made at home with our Take and Make craft kits, and I have to say, we really have some great young crafters here in Norwood. I know some mothers who are going to be absolutely delighted with some homemade gifts this year. If your kids would like to join the crafting fun, simply register every Monday to reserve a take-home craft kit for kids ages 2 through 6. We'll hold the materials until the following Monday, then we'll share any materials not picked up with people on the waiting list. Registration is really easy from our website at norwoodlibrary.org. Simply navigate to the events calendar and click on the Monday for the week you'd like to reserve a kit. We have some great programs for adults happening too. On Thursday, May 12th, I'm proud to share we're offering an intensive 1-hour course on how to be an ally to Indigenous peoples. Please go to our calendar and register now for this program. We cannot change what we cannot see. We cannot understand each other if we aren't speaking the same language. We cannot be friends if we do not tell the truth. This program will be happening online. We're asking everyone to have their cameras on and be ready to speak in several rounds of sharing. As I've referenced, registration's required for many programs. You can easily register from our website at norwoodlibrary.org or give us a call at 781-769-0200, extension 2. Anytime the library is open, we'll be happy to help get you registered. We're open Monday through Thursday from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, Friday from 10 to 5, Saturday from 9 to 5, and Sunday from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Do you have someone in your life who's celebrating a graduation this spring? I hope you're able to properly celebrate this really special milestone. I tip my hat to this year's graduates, and I encourage everyone to spend some time this month reflecting on all the great classes that have come before. A fun way to do this is our online collection of Norwood High School yearbooks that dates back to 1922 and is complete through 2018. We'll be adding the most recent yearbooks soon, so stay tuned. To find the online yearbooks, just visit our website at norwoodlibrary.org, choose About from the home menu. On the About page, choose Norwood and Library History from the menu on the left. The link to the yearbooks is about a third of the way down on the Norwood and Library History page. I've brought some books with me I'm excited to tell you about. Friends Are Friends Forever, written by Dane Liu, is illustrated by Lynn Scurfield, and it's a lovely story based on the personal experiences of the author about a young girl immigrating from China to the United States who uses her love of crafts to keep old friends and make new ones. For older readers, I have two books. The first has been a very popular ebook here in Norwood. It's a novel written by Jesse Q. Sentato called Dial A for Aunties. It answers the question, what happens when you mix one accidental murder with 2,000 wedding guests and then toss in a possible curse on 3 generations of an immigrant Chinese-American family? 4 meddling Asian aunties come to the rescue. The other book I've brought with me today is Nancy Giff's A Weed by Any Other Name, subtitled The Virtues of a Messy Lawn, or Learning to Love the Plants We Don't Plant. Professional weed scientist Nancy Gift is the acting director of the Rachel Carson Institute at Chatham University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as well as an assistant professor of environmental studies. This fun book, which came out in 2009, is organized by the seasons, starting with spring. So if you're already starting to stress out about dandelions and violets in your lawn, I strongly encourage you to check this out and explore a different perspective. Now, whenever people think of libraries, they naturally think of books, which is great. I'd love to talk about books all day long, but I want to make sure you know that we have so much more here for you as well. One of Norwood's hidden treasures is our Library of Things, and today I brought a guitar to tease you into exploring the musical instruments we have that you can borrow and take home. If I had time, I'd play you a song, but I'll pass for now and just remind you to check out the rest of our Library of Things and get inspired. This has been a Moral Moment. From everyone here at the library, I wish you and yours a safe and happy May.
Thanks, Clayton. Visit the library's website to register for events. And now we're going to toss it over to Dory Theos with some school news.
Hi guys, I'm Dory Theos, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. In Norwood High School news, congratulations to the Student of the Month for April, Francesco Saratori and Aaron Dunn. At the Coakley Middle School, 7th grade science students recently had a separating mixtures lab to figure out how things go together and come apart, and CMS also welcomed back their famous traveling scientist, Mr. Geddes. The students are always amazed by liquid nitrogen. Watching science in action is always a great experience. So many things have been happening in and around the Balch Elementary School. First and foremost, the teachers and all staff were blown away by the Teachers' Room Makeover project that the PTO allocated money for and spearheaded with volunteers in collaboration with Ms. Ferrara. The room is now a comfortable, relaxing, and multi-purpose common area where teachers can meet, eat, take meetings, or just chill for a few minutes. What a fun way to return back to work after April break. Special thanks goes out to Anselone Flooring located in Norwood. They removed the rugs and replaced them with beautiful wood-designed flooring. Chuck Anselone attended the Balch and was excited to get back to his school. The Hoggrel family volunteered their time to clean the room so the custodial staff of Tony, Bob, and Frank could paint the room. And thank you to Christy Cochran and her family for helping to decorate the room. Great team effort at the Balch School. 3rd grade music students at the Oldham and Prescott schools participated in the Lullaby Project. Students questioned their families about lullabies from their culture. Then they had to choose a lullaby to research, learn, and perform with members of their family. There were parents, grandparents, and siblings. Some family members joined in on Zoom from various locations around the world. Students were so proud to share their lullabies from their own cultures. Many students wore traditional clothing and sang in the language of their family or ancestry. In all, 17 different languages were represented. English, French, Italian, Albanian, Arabic, Hindi, Sanskrit, Spanish, Greek, Portuguese, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Urdu, Marathi, and Punjabi. Learning through music about the diversity of our town was a great experience for all. This unique project was under the direction of elementary music teacher Monique Lariviere, and we would like to share a few of those lullaby songs.
Hello, my name is Farani, and these are my mom and my sister. The lullaby I chose is God Bless Farani. It is a lullaby from Nigeria, and I will be singing it in English. I chose this lullaby because it was sung to me as a baby. This lullaby is about God blessing the baby, so you can insert different names at the end. We will now perform God Bless Farani for you. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
God bless Farani. God bless Farani. God bless Olua Farani. God bless Farani and keep Farani. God bless Olua Farani.
Hello everyone, my name is Zainab and this is my little sister Sarah. And the lullaby I chose is Surah Shar, and I'll be singing it in Arabic. And I chose this lullaby because me and my family practice it, and it is very famous in our country. And this lullaby is about believing in the God we trust and having patience through hardships. So, we will be performing this lullaby for you, and we hope you enjoy it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا. Thank you.
At the Cleveland School, it was a standing room only at the Cleveland Cafe last week. Families were treated to a tasty pizza dinner by 5th grade students serving as waiters and hosts for the PTO fundraiser. Recently, the Willett School students and staff all assembled outside for their traditional class picture. While they were outside, they also formed a 150 in honor of Norwood's birthday and a special message to the town. Thank you, Willett. And if you want to feel old, they are the Norwood High School graduating class of 2034. The Little Mustangs are happy to celebrate the first week of May. Spring means milder weather and more time to play outside. The children at LMPA are lucky to have many options for outdoor activities. The property around the Savage Center is great for nature walks, where they can pick up dandelions and look at the daffodils and tulips planted near the Senior Center. Children are also able to do their own gardening in the new LMPA flower beds donated by the PTO. On the basketball courts, children can enjoy using chalk, bubbles, and playground balls. The children also enjoy waving to all the pickleball players while they're out enjoying the nice weather. And of course, nothing is better than being at Carol's Corral, the recently dedicated playground. These kids enjoy the rock wall and the slides the best. Many students are also benefiting from the new communication board donated by the Fluie Foundation. This board helps children with autism and other developmental delays play and communicate with their peers. The Little Mustangs are excited for more spring weather and more outdoor fun. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now let's send it over to Mike with the latest in sports.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Sports Update. We had some great performances this week, but before we take a look at those scores, we're going to learn a little bit about the Deadwood boys lacrosse team. Earlier in the fall, it became evident to Mr. Longley and the Norwood coaching staff that they were not going to be able to properly field a boys lacrosse team. After some discussion, the decision was made to co-op with Dedham.
In Norwood, we knew last spring our numbers were a little bit lower than they had been. The numbers had declined a little bit in recent years, but we were still able to have a program. And then last spring, and we weren't sure if it was due to COVID, some of the numbers had dropped. And then this fall, when we did a kind of a sign up to see where we were at, that's when we really had to start taking a closer look at where we were going to be for the spring. We talked to Dedham. There's a shared youth component called Deadwood that had already started in recent years, and Dedham had been in a similar situation to us numbers-wise in recent years as well. So we talked and waited a little bit to get more information and try and get a more accurate count of how many kids we thought from both schools would be interested. And once we did that and realized it really wouldn't be sustainable for us individually to have a program, it's, a couple kids get injured, a couple kids decide not to play, and then additionally, when you have lower numbers, even though you could field the amount on the field, like how do you run practices, so a lot of different things come into consideration than just an actual number of participants that play on the field at one time, right, when you're trying to build and develop a program.
With the co-op came co-head coaches, both of which were star lacrosse players here at Norwood High School. Mark Nardelli, the class of 2010, and Brendan Altieri, the class of 2013. And for them, it's been a great experience coaching the Deadwood team.
The intent and the influence of it actually merging was shared on both sides. So Dedham had very limited numbers, Norwood had limited numbers, but the intent was to really build both programs up. And by allowing this co-op to happen, we are given a JV team. We have freshmen on both sides that are coming up. It wasn't really fair for the younger guys that were on previous teams on both Dedham and Norwood to be thrust into a varsity game that really they had no experience, or quite frankly, they shouldn't have been in to begin with. But this year, we got 29, 30 guys, 2 goalies. We got a JV program, full field, having success right from the jump right now with a winning record. So it's a big feat for both programs. Morale's high. We love coming to practice each and every day, just getting better. And then, that's being reflected on the field come game day.
I think the co-op's been going very well. We're 4-3 right now, so that's it's a good start. I think that the co-op of not so much co-op, the combination of myself and Nardelli has been great. We have very similar mindsets as far as lacrosse and how it should be played and everything along those lines. So I think it's going well, and I think the boys are having a good time playing. So.
For the seniors and captains, it's been a fun experience playing with a new group of kids, even though some of them played together previously at the youth level.
I was a little bit shocked when we first heard about the merger, but I like all the Norwood kids. I knew some of them beforehand, so it was pretty easy to sort of get together with all the guys and form a team.
It's definitely good. It's definitely good to get a different perspective on things than what I would have just got in Norwood. And I respect all the Dedham guys. They're all great kids, and it's just fun to play with new kids and get a different perspective.
And it sucks that we don't get to play them this year for the big rivalry game every year. We get hyped for that one, but it's I didn't like it at first, but I'm getting used to it.
There's a lot that goes into the process of forming a co-op team, but the main goal is to eventually build back the two programs and have them sustain themselves in the future.
One thing is what you're not supposed to do is, and this is what a lot of people aren't aware of, not that there aren't exceptions to the rule, because there always are exceptions, but by rule, you're not supposed to be able to start a new program as a co-op. So like if we didn't have a sport at Norwood High and Dedham didn't have a sport, say for example, neither of us have skiing, and we couldn't start a cooperative skiing program together. By rule, a cooperative team is supposed to be put in place in a situation like this, where there's two existing programs that the numbers have dropped to a level where they can't sustain it. You combine together with the hope and goal of going back on your own again. And so that's another piece too. Cooperative teams are really not designed to stay together for long periods of time. They're 2-year commitments at the start, and they're supposed to be reevaluated and renewed after those 2 years.
As the coaches said, the team is having a lot of success on the field for its first year. So make sure, get out and check out their games.
So we come to the game. We appreciate the community support with some of the fundraisers that has happened so far, with some canning events, and then we did the team car wash. And it's an up-and-coming sport. It's fairly new throughout the town. It's not what football or baseball is, but eventually we'll try to get there, and many more years to success for sure. And I look forward to it.
Now let's take a look at some scores from this week at Norwood High. Both boys and girls track picked up their first wins of the season against Ashland. The boys won by a score of 65-30 and were led by Dylan Hamway, who won the 1 mile and 2 mile. The girls won by a score of 106-25. Girls tennis had 2 very close matches this week, losing to Dedham and Medway by a score of 3-2. The boys lost in straight sets to Dedham and 4-1 against Medway. Girls lacrosse split their matches this week. First, they took on Tri-Valley and state powerhouse Dover Sherborne. The girls fought hard but eventually lost 15-7. Then they bounced right back the next day against Dedham, winning by a score of 13-2. The boys of the Deadwood lacrosse team only had 1 matchup this week, and it was against one of the best teams in the state, Medfield. The Warriors got out early, and the final at Dedham High School was 18-3 Medfield. Boys volleyball started their week against out-of-league opponent Nipmunk Regional High School, and they lost in straight sets. Then on Wednesday, they had another thrilling matchup against Norton. As they did against Randolph last week, they dropped the first 2 sets, and then, led by senior captain Coleman Cady's great serves and Matt Al's play at the net, the boys were able to battle back, winning 3 sets in a row. We had a chance to talk to Coach Nimblett after the game.
I knew they were going to come at us because we beat them over there, and it was a close match, and they're a real improved team. And I think we just came out kind of flat. They were close sets, 25-23, 25-22. But I knew if we just picked it up a notch and ramped up our play, we'd be able to push points, and that's what we did in that 3rd set. We were down 2-0 again, just like we were Randolph, and I said, we get 1 set, we can get the next one. And then I think it gave us just that momentum to push forward. And Matt Al's at the net, just some of the hits he had were phenomenal. Coleman set the ball really, really well today. We had a lot of contributions. Freshmen Kyrell Miller and Xavier Watkins came in and gave us big minutes. I'm really, really proud of just the composure these guys showed and just that heart again. This team has heart. You've seen it twice. So it's really fun to watch when they can battle and even being down, know that they can come back.
Softball was home for 2 this week. Monday, the Bats came alive, plating 18 runs in an 18-6 win against Medway in the Battle of the Mustangs. Then on Thursday, it was more of a pitcher's duel against Dedham. Freshman Pauline Cordani got the call again and pitched another gem. The game was knotted at 2 through 7 innings, so they headed into extras. It was in the 9th inning when the Bats for Dedham came alive and plated 5 runs. Norwood couldn't chip into the lead and eventually lost 7-2. The boys of the baseball team are starting to really find their stride as they won 2 more this week, extending their win streak to 4. They were led by 2 outstanding pitching performances. First on Tuesday by Jack Cropper, who tossed a complete game, 17 strikeout effort in the 3-1 win against Medway. Then on Thursday, senior Jonathan Demaray threw 6 innings with no earned runs against Dedham. Junior Sean Dittmeyer came in for the close and sealed the 4-1 win for Norwood. Now that we're halfway through the season, the MIAA has released their power rankings. We have a number of teams that are currently qualified for the tournament. Baseball sits at number 15, girls lacrosse is at number 29, and boys volleyball is in the last spot currently at number 32. Sitting just out of the tournament is boys lacrosse at number 33 and softball at number 36. Well, that's all for sports this week. Make sure to tune in to our social media channels or the bulletin board channel for broadcast times. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. The annual town meeting reconvenes Monday evening in the NHS auditorium. Town meeting moderator Jerry Slater shares a town meeting preview.
So we actually have 2 town meetings that we will be doing starting on Monday. We have our annual town meeting where we'll be doing the budget, Also doing some CPA articles. There'll be a succession of those. And we have, of interest, we also have some petitioner articles that are zoning articles. So it's unusual to have zoning articles on the annual town meeting. But the beef of it will be the budget, and the budget for the general government, school department, Norwood, light, broadband, and also, obviously, the shared costs. We're also going to be doing a 10-article special town meeting. Typically, our habit is to do the special first. And that has a couple of things of interest. First of all, what we are going to allocate the Forbes Hill proceeds to. So that's about $10 million for the town to spend. And then also a project, infrastructure project for Norwood Light Broadband. That's about $14 million to really upgrade their physical plant. And as a reminder for anyone who wants to speak on an article at town meeting, and this is for town meeting members as well as the general public, please get to me in advance by actually sending me an email to moderator@norwoodma.gov. Again, that's moderator@norwoodma.gov. Also, I'll be at the meeting early, and if you want to catch me to register to speak, that's the only way you can be guaranteed that you'll actually be able to speak on an article. We were unfortunately not able to fill all the town meeting positions, but I think as of this morning, the count is 231, roughly, town meeting members who have been elected and have agreed to serve. We'll be looking at actually what the membership might be going forward for town meeting. There's a committee that's going to start working on that. I'm really excited. So there are going to be some new things that we're going to start, some new traditions that you'll see coming up right in the beginning of town meeting. One of them involves how we'll be doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And then the other thing, again, as new town moderator and as the first woman town moderator, we're all going to learn a new expression, and that's called Madam Moderator. So anyone who wants to ask a question, wants to address the body, would address me as Madam Moderator. So we'll all be learning that together.
Thanks, Jerry. As a reminder, be sure to email the moderator before the meeting if you would like to register to speak. In preparation for town meeting, the town hosted several Town Meeting 101 sessions. These sessions give town meeting members a chance to preview articles and the budget. These sessions also allow for questions to be asked ahead of town meeting. The full sessions are currently being aired on the NCM Government Channel and are available anytime on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. The school committee met at the Savage Center Wednesday evening. Jerry Miller and Bob Thornton appeared before the board to share exciting details of upcoming events for Norwood's 150th celebration happening in partnership with the schools. School principals from the Coakley, the Balch, and the Prescott presented school improvement plans to the group. All school improvement plans were approved. Elementary school principals Diane Ferreira and Brian Riley updated the group on changes to the elementary school handbook, and the changes were approved. Treasurer Karen Sheridan discussed transportation details, the quarterly report, and processed budget transfers with the committee. It is Teacher Appreciation Week, and Superintendent Thompson thanked teachers for their hard work in his superintendent's report. Before adjournment, school committee member Dave Hiltz also shared a message of gratitude for all teachers.
Very quickly, just a shout out to all teachers at all levels. A happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I know, I'm sure for everyone, wherever you are, I am a year 10 and it feels like I am a year 1 again this year. So thank you for all your hard work, and we are almost done.
The school committee meets next on May 18th. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for some upcoming events in town.
You're watching Norwood News only on Norwood Community Media.
Welcome back. Last Saturday, the Recreation Department hosted the annual South Norwood Fishing Derby and Rubber Ducky Race. Norwood resident and Fishing Derby coordinator Michael Sad recaps the event.
It is 3 p.m., so it is time to start the fish. Feel free, everybody, to start fishing, have fun, have a safe time fishing.
What a beautiful afternoon. It's about 4 o'clock. Catching a lot of trout. We put in over 250 trout in here, but they're catching some little kivers and some bluegills and some trout. And we got the golden already caught. And there's some tiger trout, some brook trout, some brown trout, and rainbow trout. And the goldens come in from Colorado, and they're beautiful golden. And we've got a great crowd, beautiful day, and all the volunteers and the people I want to thank that helped out, the sponsors, the North Walpole Fishing Game, the Norwood Sportsman's behind me over here cooking, Need Bait, and the big blue propane for the bait and the worms and the prizes. Best part about the Derby is the weeks two after is the kids walking down Washington Street with their fishing rods, running to the pond here. So it's a great event, beautiful day, and look forward to the big duck race in about 15 minutes going down the river, and they'll be picking the winners of that. And it's usually the little girls that win the whole thing, and there's Cody's over here cleaning up right now. He's got 4 or 5 or 6 in his basket, but it just teaches you patience and just the patience to fish and just enjoy the outdoors. I grew up right down the street with my buddy, my best friend John Jacobowski. He's here today, and him and I would walk up and down this river and this ponds and would fish, and we'd clean it out. And we're bringing it back for the community, and it's just a great education and a great sport.
Last weekend, the Norwood Police Department, in collaboration with a number of sponsors, hosted their annual bike rodeo. Norwood's resource officers and bike officers were on hand to talk to the kids about bike safety.
So we're here behind Norwood Bank in the parking lot off Broadway for our bike rodeo. We've run a bike safety day most years, except during the pandemic. This year when we brought it back, we want to just bump it out into something a little bit bigger, into a bike rodeo. So first, I want to thank our sponsors, certainly Norwood Bank, who's been helping us with this all along. The Norwood Bike Depot is doing free repairs and safety checks of all of the bikes that come through here. We really appreciate that. We've had smoothies donated by the Juice Bar, frozen yogurt donated by Orange Leaf Frozen Yogurt. We've had pizzas donated by both Bruno's and Broadway Pizza. You can also get free helmets. The helmets are provided by attorney David White from Westwood, who's a personal injury attorney, and he's been donating helmets to us for years. You can also get a free bike lock. We're also giving away the Norwood Police Children's Book. It's a beautiful day. We're here for 2 hours, and it seems to be a big success. I do want to mention that this particular event, being a little bit bigger than what we've done before, is part of the town's celebration of the 150th anniversary of the town, the creation of the town back in 1872. So this is one of the 150th anniversary events. We thank the parents for bringing their kids, and we thank the kids for coming down.
This year, the department took the opportunity to run the children through a safety course. A number of scenarios were set up to help the kids learn to manage their bicycles safely.
And we're teaching kids the safety measures, being able to manage their bicycle on the road while being safe, going through different courses where we teach them to stop at stop signs and crosswalks, looking both ways, and just going through rigorous courses over here. They're all having fun, and it's another successful year.
For more events like this, follow the Norwood Police on Facebook and Instagram. The Norwood Historical Commission hosted tours of the recently reopened Morse House located in South Norwood. Residents had the opportunity to learn more about the house and the Morse family themselves.
Today, we're pleased to open the first floor of the house to the public in recognition of Norwood's 150th anniversary. This house, previously owned by George Henry Morse, who was our first assessor, one of our first assessors, and one of our earliest selectmen, survey of highways, survey of lumber, and also acted as a fire chief, fire department. The Morse family was integral in the development of this area, and in particular, South Norwood. We're pleased today to show a lot of historical information, a little bit of the long-term history, as well as how Norwood acquired this house, which is also an interesting story. So we've opened it up as a social today for people to learn about George Henry Morse, his ancestors, and why this area of Norwood is so interesting in its history. We're pleased to have so many people come today. So this is a home that Norwood has owned for almost 50 years. We're looking to really publicize it more and see how it could be rehabilitated and used a little bit more usefully in the future. So we're providing this opportunity, as I say, to acknowledge Norwood's 150th.
If you're interested in learning more about the Morse House or the Historical Commission, email them at historicalcommission@norwoodma.gov. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.